Today we are going to do what an ideal child should remember and what he should do. The first sentence is the necessity of an absolute sincerity. So all the children understand sincerity? What is meant by sincerity? Tell me.
Sincerity is something when a person takes care of his things and everything and remembers what he has to do and what was told.
A sincere person is that who focuses, like if he's studying right now, he'll study. If he's working right now, he'll work. And he's always focused and so he tries to excel in the work which he's doing and not get distracted by other things.
Yeah, okay. So I will put it this way, that a person is sincere when he is true in mind and act, okay? He should not be thinking of something and doing something else. Whatever is inside him, he comes out frankly with that, okay? That's the absolute sincerity. There should be no pretension. Pretension is the opposite of sincerity, okay? When you are sincere, you will tell what you are thinking. You should not think one thing and say something else. That is wrong. So, absolute sincerity. You should be absolutely transparent. There should be no attempt to mislead anybody or anything. Okay. Then the second one is the certitude of truth's final victory. There should be a certain confidence that if you are honest and you are doing what you are trying to do, you will reach the final victory. This is also there. Okay. And the next one is you should be confident that what you are doing will, when you are sincere, then what you are doing, definitely you will succeed in what you are doing. The certitude of truth's final victory. The third one is the possibility of constant progress with the will to achieve. The possibility of constant progress. We should constantly be striving to improve ourselves. We should not think that what I am is enough. Okay. However perfect you are already, you should be able to go further. Okay. Constant progress. Never think that what you have done is enough. All right. And you must also have the will to do what you want to do better. There should always be an aspiration in you to do better and better. The will to achieve. So now, an ideal child. So what should the ideal child be like? So the first sentence in this ideal child is, an ideal child is good tempered. And there is an explanation as to what is good temper. Okay? Not bad temper. It should be good tempered. Okay. He does not become angry when things seem to go against him or decisions are not in his favor. Okay. It's true, na? When you expect something and you don't get the result that you want, there is a little annoyance at least. And there is. Suppose you are playing a game and the referee decides that you have made a foul. Okay, you think that you have not made a foul. But even if you think that the referee has made a mistake, you should not get angry. You can disagree with him if you want. You can certainly disagree with him, but you should not get angry. Always, Sri Aurobindo used to, when he used to work in for the freedom of India, and he used to work in Calcutta, they used to have meetings because they were conducting a magazine called the Vande Mataram. You know that, na? They were conducting a magazine called the Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram. Yeah. Tell me, Arya.
So as we discussed in the last class, so we need to understand first that what is in the start that the child might have some anger in him, but so after some time he must have brought it down and not letting it out, and not like you gave us the example of not getting it inside our house. He must have blocked it. So, but there would have been anger in the start, like a little, but then he realizes and then he changes.
So that is the progress. When he realizes, then it's a progress, isn't it? That progress, sense of progress should always be there. Okay? That is correct. So you must always be good tempered. You must never lose your. The other Tuesday, if you remember, we were discussing anger, and anger is bad temper. Okay, so good temper. Okay, temper is your condition of the being. You should always be in a good condition. There should be no vibrations which disturb you. Okay, so that is, he does not become angry when things seem to go against him or decisions are not in his favor. It is clear? An ideal child is game. All of you have got the text, huh? So, an ideal child is game. So what does it mean? Game? Whatever he does it to the best of his capacity and keeps on doing in the face of almost certain failure. He always thinks straight and acts straight. Okay? So this is he's always willing to continue the effort. This is what you must all do. Never give up your effort. Okay? Is that clear? You must never give up your effort. Even if you think that you are not doing very well, never give up. There is an interesting thing which says that a man is never defeated if he fails. Are you listening? A man is never defeated if he fails, but he is defeated if he quits. Okay? You must never quit. You must keep on trying, keep on trying. However many times you may fail, it doesn't matter. You are sure to succeed if you keep on trying. Because failure means something you have done wrong and you have not succeeded. But success is sure to come when you learn from your mistakes. So never give up. Okay? This is too difficult for me. I can't do it. Never think like that. You must go on trying, go on trying, go on trying. Okay? You all know now that now India is sending rockets into space. You know that, no? So, in fact, India is one of the few countries we can do that. Not many countries are able to do that. But sometimes you fail. The last attempt of the rocket, okay, it failed, no? You have heard of that. But now you make an attempt to find out why it failed. And then you go on analyzing. And then did the Indian ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, did they give up the attempt? Certainly not. They found out what is wrong and they have corrected that. So the attempt to constant progress should always be there and you should never give up. Okay? Never give up. Keeps on doing. Almost if you are sure to fail, still you must go on doing. That is what is meant by the ideal is game. He is game for everything, willing. Okay? To be game means you are willing to always make an attempt. Then, very clear? Never give up your attempt. Go on trying, go on trying. However many times you fail, you must have patience and you must know that finally you will win. Remember that what we read? Truth is finally sure to be victorious. Remember that. All sincere effort will always bear a result, a good result. All right? So, this is the thing. You must always be willing to keep on trying. The next one is the ideal child is truthful. You must always tell the truth, and what is in your mind, you must be able to tell. And if you can find out that what is in your mind is not a good thing, then you can keep quiet also, but find out the truth. You must always be truthful. Okay? He never fears to say the truth, whatever may be the consequences. Honesty is the best policy, they say. Okay? So, because when you don't tell the truth, sometime or other you will be caught, and that will lead you into more difficulties. So you must always be willing to face the consequences of your truth, and you will always benefit. Okay? The truth is very important, not telling lies. Okay? That is very important. A child is truthful. He never fears to say the truth, whatever may be the consequences, because you will always benefit when you tell the truth. Even if temporarily you feel that something is not okay, you will always benefit. Okay? The next one is, an ideal child is patient. You should never be impatient. You try once, you fail, and then you give up the effort. You say, oh, this is too difficult. Never do that. Okay? You must be sure that if failure has come, then there must be some shortcoming in you, something which you have not done properly. Then you try again and again and again, and finally you will always benefit. Ideal child is patient. Impatience is not a good sign. Okay? You must be very careful to patiently try. He does not get disheartened, even if he has to wait a long time to see the result of his efforts. It's not easy, but one failure, two failures, three failures, but you are sure to succeed if you go on trying again and again. I gave you the example of our space program. Okay, so many times we failed, but you will succeed once because when you make a mistake, you know what you have done wrong. So now you correct that. And when you correct that, naturally you will benefit. Okay, so always learn from your mistakes. Never get disheartened and say, oh, it ended in a very bad way, so it's no use. I should give it up. Never give up.
So, sir, as Anjali ma'am has been talking to us, so there's something which ma'am says that you invite the divine into your work.
Yes.
Always invite the divine into your work.
That's right.
So if there is some failure also, then there is something that we need to learn from it.
That's
the divine
right.
is trying to direct us.
That's
so
right.
I think.
Yes, exactly. And also there's another thing. Sometimes when I tell the children, always pray to the divine for help. Then the child says, oh, I did that, but there is no result. Okay. But that is because the divine is helping. But are you receiving the help? You must also be able to receive the help. And that capacity to receive the help comes when you become pure and sincere. There is some obstruction in you, and that is preventing the thing. It is like the radio station which is broadcasting. The radio station is broadcasting all the time. But if you want to listen to what the radio station is doing, you have to tune into it. You have to tune your radio. So you have to also tune to the same vibrational help that is being given to you. So that is the important thing. So never give up. That's the whole thing. Okay? And you must be patient, and you must know that if you are sincere, you will always succeed. Yes, that's right. Always involve the divine in whatever you are doing. Even if you feel that the divine is not responding, which is not true, the divine always helps. All sincere prayer is answered, but we are not able to hear. But that doesn't mean to say that he is not giving the help. That's right. Okay. So you have to be patient and you have to go on without getting disheartened. There are, I think in class 9, there is Saransh. Then many of them are doing Sanskrit also. And when you are doing Sanskrit, you are doing the Gita. And what does the Gita say? Never be disheartened. Anirvinna chetasa. Without being depressed, you have to go on and on and on. Right? So that's exactly what you have to do. Never feel depressed. Yeah, I can see Saransh there sitting in class 9, right? At the second level. Yeah, you're nodding your head. So you remember that phrase? Anirvinna chetasa. Without being depressed. So you should be very patient and you have to go on trying until you succeed. All right? So then the patience is also related to the endurance. An ideal child is enduring. He faces the inevitable difficulties and sufferings without grumbling. So even if you are patient, you can say, okay, I am patient, but I am not trying further. No, you must be patient, but you must also try further. That is to endure. Endure the difficulties and the pain that comes, but benefit from it. Why is the pain coming? Surely there's something in me which is not okay. You have heard, all of you have heard, that which you fear actually you are inviting into yourself. So when you feel that failure is something, okay, uh, failure is what is bothering me, you must never think that that's the ultimate truth. Okay, so you must always know that failure is only a temporary thing. An ideal child is enduring. He faces the inevitable difficulties and sufferings without grumbling. Then, if any of you have any questions regarding these things, okay, you can ask questions and we can discuss it further. So, there are three things: patience, then endurance, and now next is the ideal child is persevering. To persevere. Persevere means without feeling depressed, you have to go on trying, go on trying, go on trying. Okay, that's persevere. He never slackens his effort, however long it has to last. Then, when can you persevere? When the ideal child is poised. He doesn't get disturbed very easily. Okay. He is always calm and cool and not disturbed. That's a poise. A poise is something which you keep yourself absolutely calm and steady. Even if someone insults you, you should not get insulted. You must remain calm. Because sometimes when someone is criticizing you, if you are very careful, if you look into yourself and say, why am I being criticized? You may find something in you which is actually defective. Then you will benefit from all, you know. Our Prime Minister was asked one day, what, there are so many people criticizing you, what is your reaction? So he said that these criticisms actually help me. I look into myself and see whether that criticism is valid. And if it is valid, I correct myself. I try to correct myself. So that's exactly what one should do. Okay? You must be poised, not get disturbed easily. He keeps equanimity in success as well as in failure. We can be very self-satisfied in when we succeed. But when we fail, we are very usually, we feel depressed. No? So, neither you should be depressed, nor you should be overjoyed when you succeed. Because there can be always a better success, a better success, a better success. Okay? So, three things. You must be patient. You must also endure the events which are not favorable to you. Sometimes they can be even tragic, but you must be able to face them boldly and courageously. And you must also persevere in what you are doing. Never give up and think that failure has come to you. Failure will never come to you if you go on trying. One day you are sure to succeed. And the word equanimity. Okay? What does the word equanimity mean? You can use the Sanskrit word. Yeah, Sharans, tell me. Equanimity.
Sir, it means samta. Samatha.
That's right. Exactly. Samatha. Samatha is the word, equanimity. Samatha. Okay. There is no disturbance in the mind at all. It is absolutely calm and quiet. That's right. That's a Gita, one of the Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Okay. Samatvam. Yoga is itself Samatvam. The moment you are absolutely calm and quiet and no disturbance, then the truth can enter into your mind. No? It's very simple. If your mind is disturbed, it is like troubled waters. The reflections in it will be not clear at all. But when the water is absolutely calm and quiet without any movement, the reflections in the water are perfect. So you will be able to open yourself to the truth when you are absolutely calm. And what applies to the Samatvam in the vital being also applies in the mind. When there are constantly thoughts are coming and going, they disturb you. Okay. In electronics also they call it noise. So there should be no noise at all. The mind should be absolutely calm and quiet. And if it is calm and quiet, it will be able to think clearly. Okay. So that is the samatvam. Okay. Poise, equality, equanimity. You can also use the word equality. Then the next one is the ideal child is courageous. Okay? He must never feel cowardly, he must never feel fear. Fear is something which is likely to happen to you if you fear. What you fear, you are actually attracting to yourself. So never fear. And fear usually comes from the unknown. But when you don't know something, you fear. But if you know something, the fear disappears. So knowledge is also very much associated with that. Okay. So the moment you know something, then fear disappears. When a new subject is introduced, you can feel there are many children who feel very afraid of mathematics. Okay, you feel disturbed. But once you start enjoying something and seeing, and never hesitate to ask questions to your teacher. Ideal child is courageous. He must have courage. He always goes on fighting for the final victory, though he may meet with many defeats. It's the same thing. You have to go on trying until finally you win. And when you win, you mustn't think that you have reached your goal. There is always something more to conquer, more to conquer. So that is what you have to go on. Patience, endurance, perseverance, poise, and courage. These are all the qualities that an ideal child should have. Now, the next one, an ideal child is cheerful. Sorrow and depression is something bad. Okay, it actually does not allow you to progress. Never feel depressed. Always be happy. Happiness is far better than being depressed. Okay, depression is not good. You must never feel depressed. You must never feel also defeated. You must always know that you can always win with perseverance. Never give up. An ideal child is cheerful. He knows how to smile and keep a happy heart in all circumstances. Even if there is something which is not very pleasant, try to remain calm and quiet. Samatvam. Okay, have samatha, and you will be able to see that the thing which is bothering you becomes less bothersome. Cheerfulness. He knows how to smile and keep a happy heart in all circumstances. It's not that you're only smiling with your face. There must be that smiling attitude even in your heart. Huh? So that's what it is being said here. A happy heart and a smile on your face. Then the next one. Ideal child is modest. Okay. Never feel arrogant. Never feel a pride which is out of place always. You must always have modesty. True modesty is when you know your capacities and you also know your own weaknesses. Okay? That is true modesty. Modesty is not someone who is, full of diffidence. When someone says, oh no, this work is too much for me, I cannot do it, I am a very simple person. Don't think that that is modesty. Modesty is the right assessment of your capacities. Okay. This is not very easy to understand, but this is what you have to understand. Modesty is the right assessment of your capacities as well as your weaknesses. And you have to work on the weaknesses. The moment you work on your weaknesses, then you know that yes, this weakness is there in me and I will try. You can become modest. And never overestimate your strong points. Okay? Because somebody else can be much more developed than you are in that particular case. So always modesty. Modesty is very important in life. Because if you are not modest, okay, and you are very arrogant, it is very likely that you are going to make more enemies. So do you want more enemies? Certainly not. You want more friends. So you must always have a very modest and very cheerful attitude. That will always give you more friends. Okay? So, ideal child is modest. He does not become conceited over his success, nor does he feel himself superior to his comrades. Goal is so far away, the goal of perfection, that if someone is doing something slightly better than you, it does not mean that he is far superior to you. He may be only 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. So 1 or 2 steps ahead of you gives you no right to feel superior. if you are 1 or 2 steps ahead of others, you should not feel superior to them because they will catch up. You remember the story of the hare and the tortoise? So even the slow tortoise finally won over the hare. Hare means that rabbit, na? So who can run very fast. So you must always be modest. Okay. He does not become conceited. Conceit, you know what is conceit? What is conceit? Arrogance. Okay. So you must not feel arrogant. Even if you succeed, you must be modest. Next, is it? An ideal child is generous. There is generosity at the physical level, there is generosity at the vital level, there is generosity also at the mental level. You must always be generous with your feelings, with your thoughts, as well as your, even the physical things, one must be generous. It is far better to be generous than to be miserly. He appreciates the merits of others and is always ready to help another to succeed. So if someone asks you for help, you must always be ready to give that help. Okay? Whatever capacity you have, you should be able to give that help to someone who is asking you for help. All right? An ideal child is generous. He appreciates the merits of others and is always ready to help another to succeed. Okay? Yeah? Someone wants to ask a question? An ideal child is fair and obedient. What is fairness? Can you tell me what is fairness? When can you say that he is very fair?
So fair. So the meaning of fair could be like giving justice to people, like giving equal rights to everyone.
That's right. Judging everybody in a fair way, without any preference. That is being fair. No? So, is that very easy? We feel sometimes we are, but we always, to our friends, we are a little always, there's preference, and someone we don't like much, we don't want to rule in their favor. No? So, to be fair is not very easy. We may feel that we are fair, but that's exactly it, giving equal importance to everybody, not overstressing anyone. It is fair and also obedient. When the teacher is saying something or your parents are saying something, if you feel that it is right, you have to be obedient to them. But if you disagree, then you can discuss the matter with them. Okay? You say that if your parents are telling you something which you feel is not okay, normally a parent will tell you the right thing, but you can discuss it calmly and quietly. Okay? And then you be obedient. He observes the discipline and is always honest. So this is another very important thing. In India, we have the habit of not being disciplined. No? Suppose you go to a shop or to a hotel or something, there is always a queue. But in India, we always break the queue. So that you should not do. Then you should always respect the traffic lights. Okay, that is you are being disciplined. You must obey. Otherwise, there can be accidents. So in a class also, when there are rules, you follow the rules as far as you can. Suppose you feel that the rule is not fair, then you can discuss it with your teacher. Okay, you can give examples and discuss it, but never try to break the rule on your own. That is discipline. And honest. You must always be honest. What you think and you do should be of the equal same type. The next section, it says, the ideal child likes to study when he is in the school. So when he is in school, he should not be thinking of anything else, but only of his studies. That's very easy to understand, but may not be very easy to follow. But you have to do exactly that. Okay. So when you are in school, do what you are in school for. And that is to, the next is in the playground. Okay. An ideal child likes to play when he is in the playground. Wherever you are, whatever you are supposed to do, that you should do. Okay. And it goes on to say the next is, I think all of you have got the text with you, no? So the ideal child likes to eat at mealtime. So when you are at mealtime, then you eat. You have to do what you are meant to do at that particular time. Okay? The ideal child likes to sleep at bedtime. When it's time to go to bed, you go to bed. Instead of watching something or going out on a jaunt somewhere or go to a picnic, if it is time to go to bed, go to bed. Discipline. Okay. The next is the ideal child is full of love for all those who are around him. Yes, raising your hand. Tell me.
Sir, all these points tell us that an ideal child is a person who concentrates on one thing, on a particular thing what he's doing.
Okay, that's what you have to try to do. So, what is your question?
Nothing, sir. No question.
Okay, yeah, you are right. So, these are all the things that a child should do. Okay, so the child he should be full of love for all those around him. You know, dislike and hate and all these things are things which damage you. They do more harm to you than anything else. It's like a very nice medicine or a bitter poison. All these are poisons. Hate, okay, lack of discipline, lack of honesty. These are all like poisons. They don't help you at all in any way. You should be full of love and goodwill for all around you. The ideal child is full of confidence in the divine grace. This is something very important. And although you may not see the divine or his grace acting, you must be sure that he is acting for your good. Okay? Even sometimes when you face very tragic situations, what we understand as tragic can also ultimately be of help to you. This is what you have to understand. Okay? So you must always believe in the divine. This is the Anjali has told you so many times now that the aim of life is to reach God. So you must always keep that in mind. And God is always love. He is also truth. So all these things are very obviously, you have to follow all these things. Finally, the ideal child is full of deep respect for the divine. You must have respect, but not only respect, you must also love and want him and his help. So always when you are in difficulty, always you can ask for help. You may not feel the help, or it may come in a way which you feel is not what you asked for, but he is always there to help you. Like your parents are always helping you, the divine is helping you all the more. But his help is not very easily understandable. We can't understand all this. Okay? So this is what we have learned today, the ideal child. Okay? So if you have finished the text now, if any of you have any questions or you have got anything to add.
There's a child from class 9 who needs to ask. I think Saransh needs to ask.
Okay. Come to the mic and speak slowly. Yeah, Saransh.
Sir, I wanted to ask that what are your views on divine grace?
Yeah.
How do you establish connections by even we are putting in effort, yet we are receiving divine grace and there is no ego of doing? How can these two go together?
Okay. You are asking for divine grace and you are trying to connect yourself with it. It's like a telephone connection which is bad. Okay. You have to constantly go on trying. And if you are not receiving, then the problem is not with the divine, but with your reception. Okay. You have to correct your receptivity. What is called receptivity. Just now as I told you, the radio station is broadcasting all the time. Okay. But you have to be able to tune into it. So you are not tuning into the correct thing. That's what you have to understand. So how to tune in? By constant progress, by constant connection. You go on, making, constantly thinking of the Lord, and the connection is made. The connection between the divine and you is made by constant thinking of the divine. That's how it comes. It's not very easy, but your past lives also will make a difference. And if you have had that practice, then this life it will be much easier. But by constant remembrance, you are actually building the connecting line by constant remembrance and constant asking without feeling depressed. Oh, I asked for help that time, but nothing happened. You must be sure that something has happened, but you have not received it. Okay? Or sometimes what you are asking for may not be the right thing. So the divine is giving you something which you did not expect. So the divine grace is always there, but you have to be able to receive it and say that, yes, now I understand. Sometimes when a thought comes into your mind, the divine is putting a thought into your mind and you follow it out, it becomes successful. You say, oh yes, the divine actually helped me. The divine grace worked. But suppose it puts in a thought which is not in line with your thinking, you may feel that he is not helping me, but he is trying to correct your wrong thought. So always the response is there, but you have to be able to understand the response. That takes time, but it is sure to happen if you go on thinking of him all the time. Okay, whatever you are doing, think of him. When you are eating, think of him, offer your food to him. When you are sleeping, think of him and go to sleep. When you are going out of your house, ask for protection, because there can be so many wrong incidents that can happen in the traffic, in the road. So always ask for protection, always ask for help, always feel that he is there with you. Then the connection is made. Okay? Saransh, that is the, you may feel in the beginning that it is not there. And yes, you are right. The ego is always a hindrance. The ego does not help. You have to get rid of your ego, but that takes time. All these psychological characters that we discussed today, okay, all of them, it takes time to become perfect. Slowly, 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 only with practice it comes. Practice is necessary for everything. Na? Even if you are doing music, you have to practice, 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 okay? Or if you are an athlete, you have to go on trying again and again and again and again. So in every field, you have to go on trying. Never give up. And then you are bound to succeed. Any other? Yeah.
So I wanted to ask a question.
Yes, do that.
So I'm the Mishra from class 7C. So I wanted to ask you, so what is the divine and when do you find him in your life?
Okay. You are asking the most difficult question. Okay. The divine is he who has made the world and who is ruling the world, but he is not limited. And if you can see him with a form, then he is limited. You can't see him because he is unlimited, he is infinite. So, but you must have faith that he is there. Okay. Just like everything has got a head. Na? You have got a headmaster in your school, and in any company, there is a manager who is there. Okay, in a kingdom, there is a king. So, who is the king of this whole world? That's the divine. He is there, but we don't see him very easily. But you have to have faith that he is there. Yes, many have raised their hands. Arya.
So the divine is a thing which we can't see in a present form. And so you told us that what we see could not be true. And so there was a slok which Saranj here said from the Gita that what we see that what we see is not actually the truth. And so one more thing that you said was that is to see the divine, we need to be in such a form that our sense organs can see and understand the divine, or else we won't be able to see the divine. And for that we can also use like you told us that there could be instruments which we can use to help us see in which present state we can't see right now.
Okay. I don't think I followed exactly what you said, but yes, you have to use the right instruments to see the divine. Yeah. Yes, tell me, what's your name?
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Mishita Mishra.
Okay.
After reading that after child, I had added 5 points from my side that I think should be added in it. So my first point is an ideal child should know that no one is born perfect.
Yes.
The second point is an ideal child should not compare themselves with others and not be insecure about their looks.
Perfect. Very good. Absolutely right.
So the third point is an ideal child should not discriminate.
Yes.
The fourth point is an ideal child should not listen to what mean things people say and just follow their heart.
Yes.
Fifth, an ideal child should be a good friend.
Yes. Very good. That's exactly what an ideal child should be. So now you have to practice what you have written. Okay. This is the theory part, and now you have to become practical. Practice is more difficult now than theory.
Yes, sir.
Yes. But it is good to know theoretically what one should do. Then one has to put it into practice. And if you fail, never feel depressed. Go on trying, go on trying, go on trying. Very good. You have written very well. Okay? Yeah.
Sir, it's written that whenever he does it to the best of his capacity.
That's
So,
right.
if we take example of a poor man, sir, he does his job and he's not getting any help from his job, and he is doing it to his best of his capability.
Yeah.
Sir, so what is the meaning of doing the job if it's not helping him?
But you may feel that this is but you must go on trying, go on trying, go on trying. And at one point, there'll be somebody or other who will recognize your sincerity and will help you. So if you are not getting help in the beginning, it may very well be that your effort is not absolutely right. Or the divine will certainly help you when the time comes for that. So everybody faces difficulties and failures in life, na? So when you are having a failure in life, you must know that your effort is not good enough. Okay, that's what you must feel. But you must not feel depressed about it. You must always want, okay, why am I not succeeding? Maybe I'm not putting enough effort, or maybe sometimes it happens that even if you are very sincere, you are not appreciated in the physical world. But that should not depress you. You should try to the best of your ability. What you wrote just now yourself. Okay, you must go on. Okay, never feel depressed and never feel that you have failed or you have not done enough. You must always go on trying more and more, and never feel satisfied even if you succeed. That is the thing. Okay, feeling satisfied with your I have done well, that is not a good thing, because then the effort for progress is not there. You must always try to do better and better and better, however much you may improve. In your athletics, you may come first.
One day, sir, if you could look into that.
You want to say something?
So my name is Amok Singh and I am from class 7F. So my question was, so when are we able to hear what the divine is trying to say us that he wants to help us?
Yes. Okay. So the question is, yeah, you must know that he is trying to help you. As I said about the radio station, you have to tune into him. But our tuning may not be very correct, na? So you have to go on trying until finally you get it right. Okay?
So how to tune it?
Because just now someone said that we are all born imperfect. Nobody is perfect. So, because this is the reason, this is the region, the physical world is imperfect by itself. There is no perfection here. So you have to try for perfection. So never feel depressed. He is definitely trying to help you, but you must be able to feel that he is helping you. And the more you open yourself, the more you'll feel the help. Okay?
So can we say that one should have the complete faith that at all point of time, the help is coming in?
Absolutely. Complete faith is the most important. But our faith fails very easily when we don't get a result. No?
Yes.
That is exactly what we must understand, that if I have failed, I am not hearing. That doesn't mean to say that he is not helping. It means that only My understanding is not enough. So you must aspire for more understanding and more. Yeah, you must be able to really make an attempt and ask him to help you. And if you ask once, twice, thrice, 10 times, 100 times, you may not succeed, but you try a little more and one day you will succeed. Okay. That is sure to happen. You must have faith that you will succeed. That faith is very important. But faith should not be overconfidence. That you must also remember.
Sir, how can a student strengthen his will at such an early age?
By practice, that's the only thing. By practice, he should be encouraged by the teachers and the parents to go on trying, never feel depressed. You can develop your will exactly like you develop your muscles. Okay, absolutely the same. If you go to there are many people who develop their muscles, even weak people. They eat well and then they, with exercises with dumbbells and barbells and all, your muscles become very developed. Exactly in the same way, by going on attempting and trying, you can develop your will also. You can develop will, you can develop your honesty, you can develop your capacity to resist, you can develop your patience. Everything can be developed because all the potentialities are there in you. And how are the potentialities there in you? Because in our Indian system, we know very well, not like the other systems, we know that you are essentially divine. There is a divine in you. He is there very much. So you must never feel that you are only a materialist. I have a body and a vital and a mind. No. You have behind these curtains, there is a body curtain, there is a vital emotional curtain, and there is a mental curtain. But behind these curtains, the divine is there waiting for you to talk to him. He is there. So you have to contact him and go on making an attempt to get in touch with him. But he is always there. And if the divine is there, all the perfection is there inside you potentially. So every human being is divine potentially. You must never think that you are in many of the systems, they say that a human being is born imperfect and will remain imperfect. Never believe that. You are essentially the divine and you can become divine in all your capacities. Whether it be temper or truth or patience or endurance or perseverance, courage, whatever is there, it can be developed. Okay? So, and how do you develop? By practice. Just as a musician goes on practicing, abhyasa. He goes on trying, then only he will get perfection. You all know that the famous musicians, how much they practiced in India. We know that master of flute, the Chaurasya, how much he went on practicing, and he got finally perfect. Yes, someone was lifting the hand. Yes, madam.
So like you told, so there are many layers. So you explained this in bottles. Like so, there's the outer, the skin, the body part, and then there is an emotional layer. Then there's our mind, and then comes the divine. You explained it in bottles, and so you also told us that when we die, only the spirit bottle is there, and it goes to take the other three bottles.
That's right. You are right. Because all these curtains, they fall away. Okay? When the curtains fall away, what is left? The curtains, body, mind, and life are something built by nature. And whatever is built can be destroyed, just like a house. Okay? Yeah. It is constructed, it destroys. At the end of your life, all these things get destroyed. But only one thing is there in you, which is not destructible. It is the divine element in you. What we call the Chaitya Purusha in Sanskrit, or we can call it also the psychic being. Sri Aurobindo calls it the psychic being. You see, Chaitya Purusha, which is there eternally within you. You have to try and contact that. Okay? That's right. You are right. These curtains have to be removed, and then you will see the divine yourself. Yes, somebody else?
Sir, if any child chooses to be weak,
then
how to help?
Oh, then you have to tell him that what he is choosing is wrong. There is strength within you. Discover your strength. Okay? You have faced situations like that when a child chooses to be weak.
There are situations because even after regular counseling and speaking to the child,
Yeah.
the child is not able to come out.
Yeah, but you have to go on. The patience is not only in the child, but also in the parent. They must also go on trying with the very patiently. You must explain to the child that your idea is wrong. You are not weak. You are strong. You must believe in yourself. That is self-confidence. And if you think that you are weak, why do you think the divine will not help you? There is a divine and he will help you. Okay. There are so many stories also of the opposite. When people are very weak and they don't believe in themselves, but finally, with effort and with encouragement is very important for the children, not a discouragement. And scolding does not help. With love and with understanding, you pull the child to yourself and explain to him that he need not feel inferior to others. Depression comes very often when a child compares himself to others. One of the children said, you must not compare yourself to others. That's absolutely true. Never compare yourself to others because they are built in a different way and you are built in a different way. You can't compare oranges and mangoes. You can't say this is better or that is better. They're totally different. So each individual is built in a different way. So he should be encouraged, the child should be encouraged not to compare himself with others. Every human being is a unique example of something in the world which is not duplicated anywhere else. You are unique. Okay? And that uniqueness has to be brought up. So you have to do what you have to do. The child has to be encouraged. With encouragement, a child can be turned around. Certainly. So, remember that most children, what they are taught, they believe in. Just look at what's happening in the madrasas now. So they are taught that and they believe in all those things. So right knowledge and the guidance of the parents is very important. When you give that, the child will believe in the right values. Okay. So encouragement from the parents and teachers is very necessary. Yes, please tell me.
So if children, if everyone,
Yeah.
if we start appreciating people for what they are, then there is, like, in all probability we'll stop comparing.
Yes.
Is that?
Yes, we should not compare and we should encourage what they have, and the teachers have a big responsibility. They have to see what is a strong point in a child and encourage that. Yes. And discourage those things which in him he has got no confidence. He must be discouraged from that. That's right.
There, ma'am, you wanted to ask something. You'll have to come in front, I believe.
Come to the mic. Yeah.
Sir. So I wanted to ask, like Riba ma'am asked a question, how can child develop willpower at such a young age? And you said, it has to be patience and child has to keep practicing that to get that willpower.
Yes.
A child can start on a self-improvement journey, but how does he cope with the peer pressure that is around him?
That's exactly what we have been discussing. Okay. You must be able to withstand all the pressures from outside. You must be able to remain absolutely samatha-like, and you must be able to encourage the child. And always the answer is abhyasa. Keep on practicing with great patience and great endurance and perseverance. This perseverance is one of the most important things. Good afternoon, Anjali.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please tell me.
So you have said that if we are frightened of something, so we get more attached to it.
That's right.
So please elaborate it. I haven't understood.
Okay. See, when you are afraid of something, you are connecting yourself with that. Na? Suppose you are not thinking of something, there is no connection. But if you are thinking of something, there is a subtle connection. So that's what I mean. Na? So if you are afraid of something, you have made a connection. And when the connection is there, it is likely to come to you. It may not come to you. That's why you must never fear anything. Okay. And even if fear is there, you must say no fear. Then the connection is cut. Yes, that's a good question.
We can offer the fear to the divine within.
That's right. That's another thing. So today, Anjali, we did this ideal child, and many people asked many questions. Okay, we have done that to a certain extent. and now most of the children have gone. So we have to see what we can take up next time. Okay.
It was such a beautiful choice by you.
No, actually, what happened was I told you I was confused because how to deal with children. I am okay with adults, but with children I didn't know. So I asked. I said in my mind, I asked mother, please help me. And then the answer came that you will do this, ideal child. I want to tell you something. Long ago, about 25, 30, 40 years ago, we used to have a small booklet. I'll try and find the booklet and send it to you. The Ideal Child. And actually, what I read today is not that. It's written by mother. And there used to be a gentleman here in the ashram who used to print 1 lakh copies and translate into Hindi, into Gujarati, into Bengali, and send to all these schools. I think that's a very important thing. And the idea has struck me that if I send you the text, if you can get it printed and give to all the children. We'll
Promini ma'am will get it printed and she will distribute amongst every child of the school.
Yes,
that is 4,300 and 350. So 4,650. It's no big deal. It will be done.
Okay.
Your wish and aspiration is our command, Rangada.
Only I have to get hold of that text. So I'll try and get hold of that text. Okay. Mother had actually distributed to all the children.
Earlier, many years back, I had done that in the school, but that's many years back. So now these are all a new flock. So we should do it again.
But you had also that ideal child with you? That
many years back, it used to come as a small booklet.
That's right.
And the ideal teacher I'd given to all the teachers also.
Yes.
So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mishita Mishra. Ma'am, I have a suggestion. If we have an ideal child, we could also have an ideal parent. Not many things. There are just 4 or 5 points. But the points are: an ideal parent should not pressurize their kids. Second point, an ideal parent should let their kids pursue their dreams. An ideal parent should not care about their an ideal parent should care about their kids' mental health. An ideal parent should not be too strict on their child so that they stop sharing things with them.
Okay, what you said is okay, but it's all relative because what you think, the parent may not think like that. Okay, so you have to consider very carefully what the parent is also telling you. What you're saying, basically, what you're saying is true because I'll tell you something. In the ashram, in the Pondicherry ashram, Aurobindo Ashram, mother said once that the teachers have to be, an ideal teacher has to be a yogi. He has to control himself more than so, and that's not very easy. Neither easy for the children nor for the teachers. Okay, it is something that you have to. Everybody has to benefit from that. Okay, you must be able to encourage the child always, see the strong points, but also you must be able to listen to your own parents. Okay?
Any instruction for next time, Rangada?
I don't know. I don't have any idea as yet. I think, Pramnidhi, you will make an attempt. Anjali has to make an attempt. If the children also have got ideas, they can also come up with ideas. Yeah, we can see. Everybody can help. Okay.
So children, you can come up with the ideas, let us know, and then we'll pass them on.
Right, yeah.
All right, please think about it and read this text that you've got today. Deepa ma'am has given it to you. Please read it again and again and again. Keep it carefully, somewhere on your desk so that you can go through it time and again.
It is not only that the teachers should get ideas, even the children should have ideas. You see, nowadays, it is not only the scientists who are inventing experiments in space. Even the children are doing things. Okay, so they are also sending, and in America as well as in India, ISRO and NASA, they actually send up students experiments. Okay, so you also are welcome to think of subjects to discuss. Okay, in fact, we should encourage the children to. There's a girl in blue. What's your name? And there's a girl in white. What's your name?
Come on, the girl in blue. What is your name? Tell Rangada about your school, about your class, and what all you do. Come on.
My name is Anthony. I study in Nafsijan. Nafsijan is a part of Jipurya only. So I study there in class 10th.
Get your name.
Nandini Bansal.
Ruchi.
Ruchi is Nandini's sister.
Oh, they are sisters.
And Ruchi has been teaching Gita in a home since the last 3 years, verse by verse by verse.
Wow.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. You enjoy the Gita, Ruchi?
Yes, a lot.
It's nice, huh? Very nice. The Gita is one of the most fantastic scriptures, okay, for us, for Indians. In fact, it's being accepted all over the world now. The Gita is a piece that everybody should know.
Question, ma'am, why are studies important? And what are the real studies?
Vidya and Avidya.
Oh, Vidya and Avidya. Okay, okay. So, the word Vidya and Avidya, there are so many different types of Vidyas. Na? There is the worldly knowledge. There is the how to read and write. Literacy also is a form of Vidya. There is also the scientific knowledge. There is the knowledge of how to live in the physical world. But Vidya and Avidya, as you are saying, is actually they refer to the spiritual knowledge. Knowledge which is not of the physical world, of the spiritual world. That is Vidya. And Avidya is, if you want a definition, I will give you a definition, but you will have to think about it. Avidya is when you are in the physical world and you are seeing all the physical objects and you think that they are the ultimate reality. Okay? But they are not the ultimate reality. Okay? They are only forms. And behind the form is the reality. So when you see the reality behind the form, that is Vidya. Okay? So that is spiritual knowledge. And Avidya is when you are seeing only the forms and you think that they are real and they are the ultimate reality. That is not true. I'll put it another way, then you'll understand. Okay? If you are a potter, okay, you make many, many pots. If you can see the separate pots and think that they are the real thing, then you are in Avidya. But when you see that all the pots have something in common and they're all coming from clay, which is infinite and it is supporting all the pots, okay, that is Vidya. So think about the image I gave you. Now you have a body, Saransh has a body, other students also sitting there all have bodies and they all seem to be separate. But is there something absolutely true about your body and Saransh's body and other bodies? At the end of 50, 60, 70, 80 years, it will disappear. So it's not the truth. So what is that in you which is common to everybody? What is that? That is matter. So when you are able to see that, then you will see the Vidya. You see the oneness behind everything, that is Vidya. But when you see the many, which are very easily destructible, then that is Avidya. Okay? So most of us are living in the Avidya. So this is the real meaning of Vidya and Avidya. But as you said, you can have mathematical knowledge, you can have engineering knowledge, you can have medical knowledge. That is a Apara Vidya. That's a lower Vidya. But it is important because that will give you a way to live successfully in the physical world. Both must be done. First, we try to have the knowledge of the lower knowledge. Okay, that's very essential because that will give you a way of living. But if you want the ultimates of life, then you have to go to the Vidya. You have to go to spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge is seeing the oneness of things. Just as we see all bodies are only matter ultimately, we have to realize that all prana in everybody is also nothing but the universal prana from which your individual pranas are made. So, Sarnash was asking a question about brain and mind. There is a universal mind which is vast, infinite. Just like matter is infinite and vast, there is a plane of consciousness and a plane of the world in which there is a mind only thoughts are occurring there. Okay? And your brain is a small portion of matter into which it is possible to put these thoughts. Okay? Your muscle also is a formation of matter, but your muscle is not able to think. But your brain is capable of thinking. Okay? It is open to so mind, when you use the word mind, it's a universal mind, it's a universal state. It's a world in itself, independent of all of us, and it exists by itself. Whether we exist or not, the mind plane exists. And out of that mind plane, a small amount is taken and your mind, individual mind is made. So your brain is a physical counterpart of the mind, universal mind. Okay? And the brain is matter capable of thought. The muscle is matter capable of action. Okay? So when you take these things, each one, the brain is the matter which is capable of receiving thought. That is the brain. This is something fantastic, because many creatures don't have brain, but they have life in them. So brain is something. But similarly, there can be something which is higher than brain. That's the subtle mind planes of consciousness which are universal. So mind is something universal. Saransh, mind is something universal. Just like matter is universal, your body is a small portion of universal matter. Exactly in the same way, your brain is a small piece of matter which is capable of tuning into the universal mind.
It's somewhat clear, but it would be nice if you will elaborate further.
In that case, you have to go back to basics. Okay, see, I'll tell you something. We have different countries in the world. We have India, we have Bhutan, we have Sri Lanka, okay? We have America, we have UK, we have France. So, and in every country, the rules are different and the laws are different. You agree? Okay. So it's exactly in the same way. In the spiritual existence, there are levels and levels of consciousness. Okay? I'll give you an idea and compare that, and then take the ocean or the atmosphere. Take the ocean. Okay? At the highest level of the ocean, if you are going, say, 1 meter below the surface, you can still see the light. Nah? You can still see the light. But go down 10 meters, will you see the light as much as you can see at 1 meter? No. So as you keep going down and down, you are entering into different countries. You are entering into different states. Okay? Just like as I told you, you can also think of water having 3 states. Remember with that? Ice, water, water vapor. And the laws that apply to water vapor are not applicable to water, nor are they applicable to ice. Exactly in the same way, just like countries, we have first of all a plane of matter. Matter we understand very well. But there is another world which is just above that, which is the world of prana, energy, which is a real country. It is infinite and the laws are quite different there. Okay? Then you enter into the universal mind plane. Then as you keep going higher and higher, exactly as I told you, in the earth atmosphere or in the ocean, you are going into subtler and subtler and subtler planes of consciousness. Okay, you are rising. And when you are rising, then the laws also keep on changing. At the highest level, you have the subtlest. And what is that? That is the divine. He is the subtlest, freest, absolutely without any forms. That is the subtlest. So these planes are arranged like a series of plateaus. At the highest level, subtle. At the lowest level, dense and gross. And it's like a vignetting. As you keep coming down, slowly, 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 that light becomes less light, less light, less light. Finally, you become into matter. So these words are there. And These worlds exist without you. Okay? And these universal worlds create individual beings. They create individual beings. Just like if you take a vast ocean and take a glass of water, you can take another glass of water. It can put in so many different glasses of water. They are all individually, you can say the individual sea, which is absolutely limited. So there is a universal plane and there are the small individual planes. Okay. So the individual has to realize that he actually has come from the universal. Saransh, are you following me?
Yes.
That was your question. So this basic thing you must remember. Okay. So the highest is the divine. He is subtle. And how will you describe the divine? Sat, Chit, Shakti, Ananda. He is Sat. The divine is Sat. Sat is a substance which is like the water vapor. It is even subtler than water vapor. Okay. That is Sat. Then Chit. Chit is consciousness. Consciousness also is something which exists. Whether you exist or not, consciousness exists by itself. Like matter is existing by itself, consciousness also exists by itself. This is a little difficult to picture to yourself, but consciousness is substance. Okay, it is something that exists by itself. Then Shakti. Shakti exists also by itself, whether you exist or not. You have a little bit of Shakti in you. No? You can walk, you can run, you can do all sorts of things. That's the individual Shakti. But there is a universal Shakti. There is a storm. There is the lightning. There is all the Shakti which is outside you. So there are different forms. So there is a world of Shakti. And there is also a world of Ananda. So at the highest level, all these are in their purest form. But when they come down, they become slowly clouded. Okay. Like the sea. I told you, na? At the highest level, light, as you keep going down, more and more density. We are living, all of us, whether we like it or not, in the densest and the darkest portion of the whole pyramid. Okay. It's like if you go to Mount Everest, na, the air is so thin there that you have to use oxygen masks. You know that. So that's exactly. If you go even higher up in spiritual, in existence, when you go up, it becomes very rare. No forms and subtlety. Subtlety goes on increasing. So these things you must remember. And when the divine is there at the highest level, you say that only the divine is there. But the divine decides to manifest the world. So manifestation, he makes himself one, he is one, but he makes himself into the many. He is formless, but he creates forms in the physical world. He is pure light, but he creates darkness out of himself and he creates the darkness in the physical world. So they are the two opposites. You're following me? Remember these different worlds, okay? Then you will be able to understand. And these 4 or 5 things which I will tell you, you must remember to be able to understand most of the things that will come after that, okay? The theory of karma, the theory of free will, all these questions come up and get explained if you remember the gradation. The gradation from the highest subtlety to the lowest density. The one becoming the many, the formless becoming forms at the lower level, okay? And the Ananda, which is hiding at the highest level, total Ananda. When that Ananda comes down, it reduces itself and becomes pain, pleasure, and indifference. Okay? It changes the forms. So at each level, which is like a different country, the laws also are going on changing. That's the reason why your first question, if you remember a month ago, when you asked that different experiences are there, somebody is saying that the world is false and somebody is saying the world is real. And how, you remember how we explained? Depends at which level of consciousness you are and how you are seeing. Okay? So in the physical world, we are seeing all the forms. I am seeing all of you sitting on chairs and tables and it's real to me. But if I go to a higher level of consciousness, I will see the chairs and tables, but I will be thinking more of the wood from which they have all come. That's a oneness. From that one wood, all the different chairs and tables are made. So that is the Vidya part. Seeing only the different tables and chairs is the Avidya part. So you have to think a lot about all these things and make it absolutely real to yourself. Then things start becoming clear. In the beginning, these ideas are so far away from our normal experience of the physical world that we have difficulty in understanding. But the more you think about them, more questions will come up. And when the questions are answered, slowly clarity comes. Even adults have difficulties when these questions are discussed in the beginning, because ideas are also abstract. Now you may understand, but the moment you go home, you will forget, because it's something very subtle. So you have to go on thinking about it.
So the brain and the mind,
Yeah.
that is his question. Now, when you've
Yeah.
given these
Yeah.
examples
Yeah.
of the higher and higher and then Sat at the highest,
That's
now
right.
how do we correlate this to brain and mind?
Okay, so I told you, mind you have to think of as the world where thoughts occur.
Where the
Jnana,
worldwide.
yeah, where the thoughts are occurring. That's the third level. The second level below that is the plane of the world where prana is there. Prana means energy, and that energy can express itself in so many ways. It can be mechanical energy, it can be lightning, it can be heat, it can be the sunlight, it can be muscle power, it can be mechanical energy, it can be electrical energy. Energy takes many forms. So that's a world in which energy is the chief thing. So your brain is matter at the lowest level, but this matter becomes capable of housing in itself life. Then you have living forms. But when matter becomes capable of housing the thoughts, then it becomes the brain.
That physical matter, the brain,
Yes.
can be in its grossest form or being only a brain with matter.
Yes.
But when it becomes a little subtler, it's capable of being able to take in the prana, and the prana and the brain are become one. It becomes at a higher level.
Yes.
When the brain is able to become subtler and subtler, then it's able to house ideas and create ideas and pick up ideas.
Okay.
Right?
I will not say brain, I will say matter. When matter is capable of taking in prana, it becomes
yes. When
it becomes
the
living creatures. But when it becomes capable of taking in the mind, it becomes brain. Brain is matter which is capable of taking in the thoughts. Your muscles are matter which is not capable of taking in mind, but it is capable of taking in prana. Okay? A stone is matter incapable of taking in prana as well as mind. So a day will come when matter will be capable of taking even spiritual knowledge into itself. That will be the next level of evolution.
What is the place of the mind there?
Pardon? Tell me.
At what state will we call it mind?
Mind is a universal, but it has got an individual form. Your capacity of rationality and thinking is a limited form of the universal mind. Just like your body is a limited form of universal matter. Your body is a small part, a small selection of matter, universal matter. A little bit is taken and your body is made of it. Agree? There is matter and your body is a small piece of matter. Is that clear?
Yes.
Exactly in the same way, the strength in you, the prana in you also is a small part of the universal energy, and it is put into you. And exactly in the same way, your individual mind, your capacity of rationality, your capacity of thinking out, your capacity of solving problems is universal mind which selects itself and puts a small amount of its capacity into you. That's your brain.
So what Saransh is asking is, at what stage will you call the brain the mind? I mean, you said there are levels. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, his real question is, what is the difference between the brain and the mind, and at what stage can we call that the brain has now become the mind?
No, the brain will never become the mind. The brain is matter, na? So you have to go beyond matter. Okay? When you go beyond, as I told you, there are different levels, na? So, okay, your question is a very difficult one, but you have to believe in the evolution to the next stage. Then your matter will become capable of housing something higher than mind. That will be the next stage of evolution.
So we can say, I'm just trying to facilitate Saransh's question and answer. So we can say at present that in our present stage of evolution, the brain has housed matter, was matter, then it housed life, prana, and then it housed the mind.
Yes.
But it has not yet housed the divinity itself in its purest form.
That's right.
It is capable of understanding divinity.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it is called mind because it is capable of rationality, intellectuality, understanding.
Yeah.
But it has not yet housed divinity in its purest form, that the mind becomes pure, purely divine, right?
Yeah. So now I'll tell something to Saransh and he will be able to understand it. You have the divine in you, we have discussed just now, right? The Chaitya Purusha, the divine element in you. Now the divine element in you is hiding in your body. I told you just now that the body is a curtain which hides the Chaitya Purusha. Okay. Then your vital is a thinner veil which hides the Chaitya Purusha. Chaitya Purusha. Then there is the mind which is even thinner. So all these are curtains which are actually stopping you from realizing that your Chaitya Purusha is there. But when it escapes, okay, it comes out of this prison house of body-mind life, it goes to the level which is above the mind. I spoke only of three worlds: world of matter, world of prana, and world of mind. Huh? I spoke only of three worlds. But there is another world which is above the mind. And when your soul goes there, that is when you experience a universal mind and you are capable of reaching this is what is called the ascent. Your consciousness is ascending out of your body-mind life and going up. Okay? At that time, you will experience that world. Then there are other worlds, even above that. Okay? We speak of Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. You remember? Saransh, you remember that? So, when your mind, your consciousness goes to the Annamaya Kosha, this is the normal condition of man. Pranamaya Kosha and Manomaya Kosha, we have already, that's our experience. But when the consciousness goes to the Vijnanamaya Kosha, then you get spiritual knowledge. Then when you go to the highest level, you get to the Anandamaya Kosha. Then you have intense ecstasy and delight. So your consciousness is something in you which is capable of rising out from the lower levels and going to the higher levels. That is until now the aim of life in India. Okay, Mukti. The consciousness which is hiding in you and of which you are not conscious has to come out and go into the higher worlds. As I told you, these are universal worlds. Okay? So, this is what you have to remember.
So, Saransh, are you clear now?
Some clarity.
Yeah, I told you, Saransh, you think a lot about it. Okay? I've given you the basics. Now, you go on thinking about it. And the more you think, the more questions will come up. And those questions are answered, you get a clearer and clearer idea.
Thank you. Punardarshanaya Rangada.